Coach, particularly in that first half, what challenges did Toronto's defense present for you all?
Their activity, their length, their scrambling. Lots of double teams and trapping, and they were very active, and we weren't as good as we need to be offensively in the first half.
I know that we've talked about Drew's absence, and there's never any excuse because I know you're confident in the group that you have, but is there anything as a coach that you've noticed that he brought to the table that you maybe didn't realize before?
No, I think there's a great appreciation for what Drew does over the first, however many games he's played. So he's a very good player, and, we got to find a way to get it done without him.
Eric Name.
After last game, we kind of talked about that double team going to Chris and how you guys need to be better as coaches, how Chris needed to be better. He has 5 first-half turnovers. Just what happened in that regard again? It felt like the double was a problem for him for a second straight game.
That again, we got to put him in better spots. As coaches, we got to give him, more space, more opportunity, better outlets. We just got to keep working on it.
We just heard Nick Nurse talk about how, they put an emphasis on getting into the lane and then kicking out. If they saw Giannis, if they saw Brooke, kick it out. How do you kind of deal with that as a defense when that is kind of what you're built around, is protecting the rim, and that's kind of their goal, is get to those guys and then kick out?
Yeah, we talked about it some between, after the game, I think Tuesday night or whatever, that it'd be great if we just could keep the ball in front of us better, guard the ball better, put less pressure on Brooke and Giannis. But their players, they're determined to get to the paint. They put their head down and drive it. They make a lot of threes. They're very good at what they do, and it's not just us. I think they lead the league in threes. So, the Van Fleet, he does a great job of getting to the paint, whether it's out of the pick and roll or the one-on-one, and then he mixes in enough makes where you feel like you got to honor him at the three-point line. So, they do a good job of creating threes.
The final time we saw Brooke tonight, he was kind of talking through a defensive possession with Dante and with some of the other guys, and then you guys decided not to go with Brooke the rest of the way. Just what was kind of behind that decision?
We finally caught like a little bit of, I think some momentum, at some point in the third quarter. I think they're playing smaller, more guys are around the perimeter, more guys that can dribble, drive, and we went with a different group, and it felt like those guys were playing well. So we kind of just rode that group and rode it through the fourth quarter too.
Jim Ozarski.
Mike, and maybe this has to do with what you said about putting the players in better position, but 15 turnovers, they scored 24 points. What maybe bogged down, aside from the double teams, in that half-court offense? It felt like when things slowed, they were able to get their hands on balls, or your guys lost the ball, for instance. What kind of pressure did they put on you, and maybe why couldn't you guys get out of that, I guess?
Yeah, their activity, they swarm the ball. I think we got to do a better job of, like I said, getting our guys into better spots, spacing better, move it maybe earlier, quicker, but they swarm it, and you got to move it. You got to be ready to catch and shoot it or drive a closeout and get to spacing again. I think as coaches, we just got to do a better job, put them in better spots.
I guess how would you do that? Would it be changing who sets it up in the half court? Would it be trying to push the pace a little bit so there's a little more tempo and some free flowing? How do you think you can do that, I guess, the next time when some team throws this at you?
Yeah, we've got to get more stops. You can't run without getting stops. So, I think they were scoring at a high clip for a good stretch of the game. So, your transition game always starts with being good defensively. So we got to be better defensively. And then we just got to be, I think, like I said, get to better spots, better spacing, slash and get out, slash and get to then spacing. And sometimes we got to make more of our good looks. Sometimes you got to make some tough shots. We're just like in a little bit of a funk offensively, but I think we can work through it.
One more, Eric Woodyard.
What's up, Coach? I know you'll go and study the film. I know you guys do that a lot, but just your thoughts on the overall spirit and energy of the team. I saw the Nazis come in and kind of bring it a little bit, but just as a whole, more so the X's and O's, where do you feel like this team is as far as just the spirit-wise and just energy-wise? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, we obviously, it's hard going through what we're doing. We've lost again tonight, but the competitiveness, the spirit was actually better. I think guys were covering for each other, guys were scrambling. I know it's the results, people are going to look and see another loss, but the togetherness, the competitiveness, the spirit was better tonight, and we got to build on that. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.